I don't believe that. Yes, Sophia.
Because of what I said earlier, so kind
I
of
don't believe that.
bit.
Well, I mean, the yes itself didn't sound particularly convincing, and
do I prefer?
Okay, let me rephrase the question.
Yeah.
Do you take issue or do you take quarrel, and I'm asking this to all of you, if a man has a preference for a woman with a low body count? Do you take issue with that?
Yes or no, or just or explain?
Whatever.
I don't think it's a huge issue. Everybody has their own preferences. Obviously, it's the way they say it. If they're she's a it's okay, calm down. But if he has his own preference, that's fine. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, it's preference, but also I think when it gets to the point where it's like a fetish almost. I don't know if that's the right word for them to be pure or be this not she hasn't been touched, she's a virgin. I think when it gets to that point and it's just starts to get really gross. It's do you want to date a child?
There it is.
You know what I mean?
All right. So men who want to date women with a low body count are
No,
well,
definitely
no.
But when it gets to the point where that's all it matters so much to them,
I mean, an adult woman can be a virgin.
Yeah.
Past
totally.
18.
Well, I think that there's a huge problem with
I think that what she's
Hold
trying.
on, let's let her finish.
I think you can.
No, you go ahead.
I don't know how to articulate this correctly, but
attempt.
Children are born virgins is the point.
No, you're
you're young. You have not done that. So sometimes when it gets to such an extreme and people,
is it extreme to want someone who's not
not
promiscuous?
to want, not to
not
no, not at all.
No,
but if someone is I would never sleep with anyone that's even been touched by a man, and okay, I don't think that's very many people at all. I don't think that's
all
very
Christians
many
and all Muslims. You're saying that they're pedophiles. Is that what you're saying?
There is a high rate of pedophilia in those religions.
What?
That's
not a good thing to say.
No, that's just not a good argument. That's a straw man. I understand what you guys are saying, right? The reality is, and this is what I was talking about earlier, and I don't know, for some reason why this is perceived as a racial lens or something like that. I just literally talked to a lot of women. It has nothing to do with the way that you look, okay? It was just the chat was doing a lot, all right? The chat was doing a lot.
Don't worry about it.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is when it comes to a low body count and being a virgin, it does correlate with age, right?
Yeah.
But we have a hard time separating the value of purity versus the value of a woman being more girlish. But some of this stuff isn't necessarily bad. Have you noticed that women that are petite, and I mean short, and they're also small, right? A lot of men seem to really enjoy that. Have you noticed that?
Absolutely,
yeah. So it triggers a protective instinct in men that's coveted, and it's this concept called neoteny. Because if you think about it, when a woman acts kind of like a girl or looks more girlish, right? Just short, petite. That's valued. If a guy is small and boyish, is that valued?
No.
Yeah, right, because it's only attractive if women are closer to that girlness, and even if she's a tiny old lady, right? There's still an element of that there,
right?
So it's we often try to demonize this thing because men value purity when we probably don't need to be doing that, right? It could just be a fact, and that's okay, right? Lots of men value purity. That's it's a normal historical thing. I think that we get upset because the reality is that a lot of us, I think that we live in a world past hormonal birth control, right? Virginity is just not that common anymore. And that's really hard to recollect, both for women and also for men. But I think at the end of the day, people would still, that are looking for relationships, want people with low body counts. And that's okay. That's perfectly acceptable. But if we're going to value that, then we need to be coupling up in our 20s. Do you see?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Little Red Riding Hood need a reality check.
Which one is that?
I'm guessing that's me.
Was Little Red Riding Hood a redhead?
No, but that's probably what they're just calling me. Why?
Okay, so bringing it back to body count really quick. I don't know if everyone got to go around on would you take issue with a man who cared about your body count?
Would I take?
I think you answered.
No, I wouldn't have an issue if a man cared about my body count.
Nope.
Okay. What's your body count?
I don't feel comfortable saying that to like millions of people.
Yeah, I'd rather not say.
Yeah,
Anybody
no,
want to share?
Definitely no comment.
No comment. No.
And before anyone says anything, that doesn't mean that we're.
Yeah, no, I
Pros or
personally
words.
keep that part of my life. Like, I think that's a sacred thing,
Sure.
and I like to keep that private. And I just, that's something for me and anyone that I choose to share that with. Not for the public.
All right, I'm gonna get through some super chats here. Stephen Wagner, thank you for the 50. Go ahead and read this.
No one should down marriage. I married my wife when she was 24 and I was 20. 18 years later, we have a 12-year-old son. She wanted to be married.